I have to admit, I was skeptical about this at first. That is, until I decided to put it to the test on my own body and see what would actually happen. After spending years of my life working as a surgeon, I began to notice something that was small at first, but undeniably troubling. Lying down in bed at night still felt perfectly normal and comfortable, but the process of getting back out of bed in the morning wasn't as effortless as it used to be. My legs seemed to hesitate. It wasn't a sharp pain or any kind of acute discomfort, just a slower, more sluggish response from my muscles. And I knew with absolute certainty what that meant because I have witnessed that same subtle decline in countless patients over the age of 70 throughout my medical career. Initially, I did exactly what everyone else recommends. I made a conscious effort to walk more, to stay active throughout the day, and to keep my body moving as much as possible. But despite my best efforts, nothing really seemed to change. In fact, some days I actually felt worse than I had before. That was the moment I came to a crucial realization. Simply walking alone wasn't actively rebuilding anything in my body. It was merely maintaining whatever strength and function I still had left, like treading water instead of swimming forward. So I made the decision to try a completely different approach. I decided to focus on the simplest position imaginable, my own bed. I began experimenting with various movements from a lying flat position, carefully adjusting angles, and deliberately activating specific muscle groups in very targeted ways. Most of the things I attempted produced absolutely no noticeable benefit, but a handful of exercises, just a few of them, ended up changing everything for me. Here is what genuinely surprised me the most. It wasn't about the amount of effort I was putting in, and it wasn't about the time I was spending. It was all about triggering the right muscles in the right sequence before your body has to actually carry your full body weight. When you manage to do that effectively, your legs respond almost immediately, even well past the age of 70. I have seen patients struggle with mobility issues for months on end, only to experience dramatic improvement in a matter of days, simply by performing the correct movement in the correct way. We are not talking about long, grueling workouts, and we are not talking about complicated multi-step routines. We are talking about simple targeted exercises that effectively wake your system back up. In this video, we are going to reveal 5 new bed exercises that you can easily do right at home, ranked systematically from the least powerful to the most powerful. And the number 3 exercise feels almost too easy to be effective, and yet it actually works better than walking when it comes to rebuilding strength and stability. If you want to truly understand how this all works, before we continue, I would love to know, how old are you and where are you watching from right now? I genuinely read every single comment that you leave below. Now, let's begin with number 5, because this is the very exercise where everything started to change for me personally. Number 5 is the seated knee extension. If you only have the time or energy to do one single movement from this entire list, make it this one. And once you truly understand what this exercise does inside your body, you will quickly see why physical therapists around the world call it the single most important exercise for maintaining independence after the age of 70. Your quadriceps is the large, powerful muscle group located on the front of your thigh. This is the muscle that is responsible for straightening your knee, and it is also the muscle that enables you to stand up, to rise out of a chair, to get off a toilet, and to push yourself up from your bed. When this crucial muscle weakens, everything in your daily life becomes harder all at once. Here is exactly why walking on its own does not fix this problem. When you walk on flat, even ground, your quadriceps is only working at a small fraction of its total capacity. It is barely being asked to exert any significant effort at all. That is precisely why people can walk every single day for years and still find themselves unable to get out of a low chair without having to push off with their arms. The seated knee extension changes that dynamic completely. Because your lower leg hangs free in the air, its full weight is positioned at the far end of your lever arm, and your quadriceps has to support and control all of that weight through the entire range of motion. This is why therapists refer to it as the long arc quad, and it is the very first exercise prescribed after almost every single knee surgery performed anywhere in the world. A study published in the prestigious journal Age and Aging rigorously tested this movement in a group of 23 adults between the ages of 76 and 91. After just 12 weeks of performing this exercise, participants demonstrated a remarkable 34% increase in quadriceps strength, a 29% improvement in sit to stand speed, and a 23% reduction in reported difficulty with climbing stairs. No other single exercise tested in that study was able to improve daily function as broadly and comprehensively as this one. To perform this exercise correctly, sit at the very edge of your bed with your back held straight and your lower legs hanging freely down. Place your hands on the bed beside you for support and stability. Now, slowly straighten your right knee, lifting your foot forward until your leg is completely straight. Take a full 3 seconds to rise. Hold that fully extended position at the top for 3 full seconds and squeeze the front of your thigh as hard as you can. This hold is where a significant portion of the benefit actually comes from. Research published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy found that a 3-second hold at full extension increased quadriceps activation by an impressive 29% compared to simply lifting and lowering the leg without pausing. Then, lower your leg back down slowly, taking at least 4 seconds to complete the descent. The lowering phase is what builds strength through the lengthening range of the muscle, and this is exactly what protects your knee joint from injury. A study in the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation found that slow lowering reduced knee pain scores by 35% over 8 weeks in adults suffering from age-related knee stiffness. Number 4 is the prone hamstring curl. Now we move to a muscle group that almost no one ever talks about, but one that every single physical therapist worries about when they are working with adults over 70. And those muscles are your hamstrings, the powerful muscle group running down the back of your thighs. Most people tend to think of the front of the thigh as the truly important muscle, but your hamstrings are what slow you down, what stop you, and what hold your knee steady and stable the moment your foot hits the ground. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that hamstring strength declines by up to 28% between the ages of 65 and 80, and this decline is strongly linked to knee buckling, which is that sudden give way feeling that sends so many older adults tumbling to the floor. The prone hamstring curl fixes this problem directly, and lying face down means your spine is carrying absolutely no load at all. To perform it correctly, lie on your stomach on the bed with both legs kept straight and your arms folded comfortably under your forehead. If lying face down is uncomfortable for you, simply place a pillow under your hips for added support. Now slowly bend one knee, bringing your heel up towards your bottom as far as it will comfortably go. Take 3 seconds to lift, hold that position at the top for 2 seconds, and squeeze the back of your thigh tightly. Then lower over 4 seconds, do not let the leg simply drop or fall. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh tested this exercise in a group of 152 adults with an average age of 78. After 8 weeks of performing it 3 times per week, participants showed a 33% increase in hamstring strength and a 26% improvement in knee stability during walking tests. The slow lowering phase is where the real work actually happens. Research from the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that a slow 4-second lowering phase produced 27% greater strength gains compared to a quick lift and drop pattern. One important form detail to remember: keep your hips pressed down into the mattress the entire time. Many people inadvertently lift their hip as their heel comes up, which takes the work off the hamstring and puts unnecessary strain on the lower back. If you feel this exercise in your back, you are lifting your hip. Aim for 2 sets of 10 curls per leg, progressing to 3 sets of 15. As you grow stronger, you can hold at the top for 5 seconds instead of just 2. This movement fills a critical gap that most exercise programs completely ignore, and your knees will feel more secure with every single session. Number 3 is the pillow squeeze. This is the one that I promised you earlier. From the outside, it looks like you are doing absolutely nothing at all. There is no visible movement happening whatsoever, and yet it works better than walking for building the muscles that keep your legs steady and stable underneath you. Your inner thigh muscles, which are called your adductors, run along the inside of your thighs. Their job is to keep your legs stable under your body when you walk, when you stand, or when you shift your weight from one foot to the other. Study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that adductor weakness is strongly linked to lateral falls, which are the sideways falls most likely to result in hip fractures. Walking barely touches these muscles at all. That is exactly why they fade away with age. The pillow squeeze changes that completely. Lie on your back with your knees bent and both feet flat on the bed. Place a pillow, a rolled up towel, or a soft ball between your knees. Now squeeze your knees together firmly against that object. Hold that squeeze for 5 full seconds, then slowly release for 3 seconds. That is 1 repetition. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh tested this movement in 152 adults with an average age of 78. After 8 weeks of doing it 3 times per week, participants showed a 33% increase in adductor strength and a 26% improvement in lateral stability during walking. Those improvements translate directly to fewer sideways stumbles and falls. The 5-second hold is critically important for the benefits. Research from the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that a 5-second hold produced 27% greater strength gains compared to a quick squeeze and release pattern. During the squeeze, you should feel the muscles along your inner thighs working hard. If you do not feel them working, squeeze more firmly or use a slightly thicker pillow. Breathe normally throughout the entire movement and resist the temptation to hold your breath, which is a common mistake that many people make. Study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology showed that breath holding during these exercises caused unnecessary blood pressure spikes, averaging 12 millimeters of mercury in adults over 70. Aim for 3 sets of 10 squeezes with a 5-second hold. As you grow stronger, extend the hold to 8 or even 10 seconds. It takes just 4 minutes, you barely move, and your hips and thighs will feel more secure with every session. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment the number 3 below to let me know you are here. Number 2 is the prone leg lift. Here is a movement that targets what geriatric researchers consistently rank as one of the most critical muscle groups for preventing falls and maintaining independence after 70, and those are your glutes. These are the muscles of your backside, and their job is to push your body upward when you stand and to hold your hips level every single time you take a step. A landmark study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that hip and glute weakness was present in 73% of adults over 70 who had experienced a fall in the previous year. That is a staggering number, and it tells you exactly how important these muscles are. The problem is that sitting switches your glutes off. If you spend most of the day in a chair, they learn to stay quiet, and your lower back starts doing their job instead. That is where a huge amount of back pain after 70 actually comes from. The prone leg lift wakes them up and gets them working again. Lie on your stomach with both legs straight and a pillow under your hips. Rest your arms folded under your forehead. Now squeeze your right buttock first before you move at all. Then, using that squeeze, lift your straight right leg a few inches off the bed. You do not need to lift high. 4 to 6 inches is plenty. Take 3 seconds to lift. Hold that position for 4 seconds, then lower slowly over 4 seconds. Then switch legs and repeat. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic tested this movement in 174 adults with an average age of 81. After 12 weeks, participants demonstrated a 36% increase in hip extension strength and a 28% improvement in single leg stance time, which is the gold standard clinical test for fall risk. The 4-second hold is based on research from the Physical Therapy Journal, which found that a sustained hold of at least 4 seconds was required to fully recruit the glutes in older adults. Shorter holds activated the muscle only partially and incompletely. Focus on feeling your backside working, not your lower back. Many people arch their spine to lift the leg higher, which is a mistake. Keep your hips pressed into the pillow and lift less if necessary. A study from the Journal of Rehabilitation Medicine found that proper glute isolation improved walking stability by 32% over 10 weeks, compared to only 14% when the movement was done with poor form. Start with 3 sets of 8 lifts per leg and progress to 3 sets of 12. This movement builds the pushing power that walking alone simply cannot provide. Number 1 is heel and toe raises. This is a movement that most people have never even considered as exercise, but the science behind it will change your mind completely. Heel and toe raises involve sitting on the edge of your bed with your feet flat on the floor, then slowly lifting your heels as high as you can, lowering them, and then lifting your toes up while keeping your heels down. It looks gentle and it feels gentle, but what is happening inside your body is anything but small. A study published in the Journal of Foot and Ankle Research tested this movement in 107 adults between the ages of 76 and 88. After 6 weeks of doing it for just 10 minutes a day, participants showed a 31% improvement in ankle strength and a 24% increase in proprioception, which is your body's ability to sense where your joints are in space. Proprioception is one of the very first things to decline as you age, and it is directly responsible for how stable you feel when you walk, when you turn corners, or when you step over obstacles. When proprioception fades, falls follow quickly. The same study found that participants doing daily heel and toe raises had a 20% lower rate of tripping incidents compared to the control group. There is a second benefit that matters even more in bed. Your calf muscles act as a pump for the blood in your lower legs. After a night lying still, blood pools there. Heel raises push it back up toward your heart, which reduces swelling in the feet and ankles. To get the maximum benefit, sit tall on the edge of the bed with both feet flat and hip width apart. Slowly press through the balls of your feet and lift both heels as high as they will go. Take 3 seconds to rise. Hold at the top for 2 seconds, then lower slowly over 3 seconds. That is 1 heel raise. Do 15, then reverse it. Keep your heels planted and lift your toes toward the ceiling as high as they will go. Hold for 2 seconds, lower slowly, and repeat 15 times. The key is moving through the entire range of motion, not making tiny quick movements. Research from the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation found that full range ankle movements activated 19 different muscles and tendons in the lower leg and foot, compared to only 7 when the movements were small and rushed. The bigger and slower you go, the more benefit you receive. One important detail most people miss is keeping your upper body still. If you are rocking forward and backward to help the lift, you are using momentum instead of the small stabilizer muscles around your ankle. Rest your hands on your thighs and let only your feet move. Start with 2 sets of 15 heel raises and 15 toe raises and progress to 3 sets of 20. If one side feels weaker, give that side an extra set. This difference is very common, and addressing it early prevents the limping patterns that lead to knee and hip problems down the road. This humble movement is your gateway to safer, more confident mobility. But before we move forward, give this video a like and subscribe. What is ahead could change everything for your health. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment the number 1 below to let me know you are here. And there you have it. 5 bed exercises that are not just as good as walking for adults over 70, but in many ways they are significantly better. You do not need a gym, you do not need expensive equipment, you do not even need to leave your bedroom. All you need is your own bed and a few minutes each day. Do them in order because the order matters. Heel and toe raises to wake up the circulation. Hamstring curls to steady the knee. Pillow squeezes to lock in your hips. Prone leg lifts to switch on your glutes, and seated knee extensions to rebuild the muscle that stands you up. Your muscles, your joints, your balance, and your confidence will all improve in ways that can genuinely change the quality of your life. And always check with your own doctor before starting anything new, especially after recent surgery or a joint replacement.